going to see a little scar in front of each of your chairs. Those are for you. Take those home. You guys deserve everything. Everything. I mean, the work you do is amazing. So congratulations again. Take the stars home. They're yours. Don't leave them here. I will take them. If you leave them here, I'll take as many as I can. I'll collect a lot of things like this. My wife will appreciate it if you take them home. Our keynote speaker today is from Miami, Florida. When he was just 5 years old, he started a group called Joshua's Heart Foundation. They are a small group of volunteers with a big dream to end hunger. Again, just 5 years old when he started this. Joshua started feeding one family, and from there he's fed thousands. His story has been on NBC Nightly News, Good Morning America, the Disney Channel, the ET, Nickelodeon, and so many more. An impressive resume that I wish I could claim. His story is one that you will want to tell your friends and family after meeting. He's amazing. Give us a warm welcome now for the founder of the Joshua's Heart Foundation, Joshua Williams.
Hello, everyone.
Hello.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Morning, kind of. So, why do we help our families, friends, and those in need? It's because we know that it's needed. We do so because we care. Because we can't imagine kids going to bed hungry. We each understand that if we are hungry, we have the choice to go buy a sandwich, take our families to eat, or make ourselves a meal. But we also understand that there are millions of children and families who don't have that choice. So we do our best to help to reduce the number. Trying to solve the issue of hunger and poverty isn't an easy one, but each one of us in this room had decided to take on this hard task. My story all starts with a $20 bill when I was 4.5 years old, a common day object that millions of Americans carry around in their back pocket. On an early Sunday morning, my grandmother gave me $20 to do whatever I wanted with it as a gift. And $20 is a lot to a 4.5-year-old. You know, you can go to Toys R Us, buy whatever you want, buy toys, buy gum, whatever you need. And I simply, again, just thought to use it to buy something. But little did I know that God had other plans for me. On my way to church, my mom stopped at a red light, and to my left was a homeless man. He had a sign, and it said, "Need food, lost my job." And at the time, I didn't understand that he was homeless. I didn't understand why he was homeless fully until I was a little bit older. But my mom explained to me the basic thought, that again, he didn't have a job and that he couldn't support himself, and if he had a family, his family. And you see, there's this quote by Albert Schweitzer, if I believe I'm saying that right, and it says, "The purpose of human life is to serve and to show compassion and the will to help others." This quote explains exactly how I felt when I saw the man. I felt the urge to help him when I read the sign. I felt like I needed to do something. So in the end, I gave him the $20. Little did I know that that $20 will change my life forever. It's affected me in great ways. And I didn't hesitate. I knew that I had to do it. I knew I had to give him the money. I didn't have to go to Toys R Us anymore, and that wasn't important to me. My mom, of course, as an adult, she saw the world in a different light. Her first reaction was to purchase food and give it to him. But with me being persistent and sometimes stubborn, I made sure that she knew that it was my money, and that Grandma told me that I had to do whatever I wanted. Even though I never saw the man again, he changed my life forever. Still, I wasn't thinking of starting an organization or, helping out as many people as I could. But it got me thinking about how I could help, how I could make a difference, whether it was small or big. How many of us ever have ideas and then just put it on a shelf and forget about it? And what's really important is when you have an idea, to stick through it, to find out what you need to do to make that a reality. So a few weeks later, actually, I was watching TV, and there's this commercial about Feed the Children organization and the work that they're doing in Africa. And my mom right here, actually. But about Feed the Children and the work that they were doing in Africa. And it was showing a commercial about the condition kids were living in Africa. And I was stunned to see the dirty water that they're drinking and the limited access to food that they had. And I was shocked to say the least. How could children live this way? How can we allow people to live in these conditions? And this really motivated who motivated me and brought the reassurance to me that I needed to do something, to start helping those in need. So to start, I went to my 2 favorite aunts, and I asked them to help me do something in the community. I didn't have a plan, a business plan, I didn't have anything. I just knew that I wanted to help those in need. I waited for them for 3 weeks to help me do something. And this was my first experience with defeat, organization, planning, and commitment. I learned that sometimes the people that you believe in will fail, and it's okay to. But what's really important is to learn from those mistakes. Learn from how and why you failed, and to make yourself a better person from that. And I especially learned about commitment. I learned that if I'm going to do something, and I say I'm going to do something, I better do it. After being disappointed, I went up to my aunts and I fired them. I fired them and I moved on with my life. I then went back to my mom and I asked her to help me make a change. She was hesitant at first. She thought the project would be too big and that she didn't have the time for it. But I learned about persistence a few weeks earlier. So I made sure that she knew that I really wanted to do it. I made sure that I gave her no choice. I gave her no choice but to help me. And this time I had a plan. This time I knew that I wanted to do something bigger. So I got my family, she helped me get my family together to give back to those in the community. We started to cook food in our kitchen, and it started off small, giving food to 5 to 10 homeless families. And in a matter of weeks, it went to 200 families every Saturday. And this was coming out of pocket, just my family wanted to give back. And this was the first time that they really saw that people were hungry, that millions of people were in need of food. So this was the first time that I was able to give back. And it was, a big change for me. And I thought they were giving out a lot of food until I learned how big a million really is and learned how many people are really hungry. And that's what really motivated me to give back and help more people in the community. So right now, Joshua's Heart has evolved into what it is today. Our main program is called the Distribution Program, which is where we distribute food to those who are in need. We will have a site, such as a church, school, or a community center, and we bring food to those sites and give it out to those who are in need. Similar to the market that we have here, it's kind of like, again, a market with tables set up with food. We have youth, of around 120 youth, come to the event and pack out food, and actually escort a family around the tables and pack the food with them. We focus on making sure that youth have a connection with those who they're helping. Make sure that they know that it's not just about donating money or just packing a bag and putting it to the side. It's about really getting to know who you're helping, understanding why you're helping them, and they get connections and experiences that they remember for the rest of their lives. And this is something that has been with Joshua's Heart forever. It's one of our foundations. It's one of the things that make Joshua's Heart. We focus on youth and using youth to make a change in the world. For example, we have another program called our Junior Advisory Board, or JAB. And our JAB is a group of kids. We have 80 kids who are split into 4 teams who fundraise to make a difference in the community. They have fundraiser ideas, they plan events, and they make them a reality. We actually have our secretary here today of the JAB. Her name is Cecilia Sosa. And she's actually going to talk a little bit about her experiences with Joshua's Heart and how this has changed her life. So, Ceci.
Hi everyone, my name is Cecilia Sosa and I'm 18 years old. I met Josh Williams in our 7th grade drama class. When I came home from school the first day, my mom asked me to talk about the people in my class and what kind of people they were. I started to talk about the kid with the afro and how he was the founder of this big charity that helped people in Miami. She immediately told me to ask him how I could volunteer and participate in the work he was doing. I quickly said no because first, I didn't remember his name, just the afro on his head. And second, because I thought that this foundation was for older kids and I was too young to help. For probably a month, every time she saw me, she asked if I learned more about how I could get involved. Finally, I gave in to her pleading and gathered the courage to ask if I could volunteer for the next event. He explained to me with a smile that the following week they would be having a family day Thanksgiving distribution, and he told me to stop by. He also told me that if I was interested, I could join the Junior Advisory Board for the job. Little did I know that this kid with the afro and this foundation would honestly change my life. I arrived that Saturday to find a group huddled up at a table discussing possible ideas for events that could take place that year. Ideas were spitballed back and forth until I realized this. Everyone at that table was around my age or younger. This really shocked me in the best way possible because I have never heard of a foundation or charity that does this. As the people we will be giving the Thanksgiving goods to lined up at the door of the high school cafeteria, I felt the excitement in the room rise. At the entrance to the door of the high school cafeteria, the volunteers lined up with empty bags as they were assigned to a family. We guided the families around a series of tables where the mountains of fresh produce, canned goods, and turkeys were placed. After the distribution ended and all the bags were full, I said thank you to Josh and his mom for inviting me to participate. I think the best part of the distribution was having the one-on-one experience and helping those, and also creating a connection with the people that we were helping. The happiness that I felt after that experience is immeasurable to probably what I feel now, today, speaking about my experience. The Junior Advisory Board of Joshua's Heart is a mix of about 80 kids ranging from ages 9 to 18. When we meet, we think of ideas to fundraise for the foundation and to better the organization as well as the world. Members of the board sometimes have their own individual projects, created with aid from Josh. An example is Anthony's Blanket Project. Anthony is a boy from our foundation that raised about 400 blankets and distributed it to people in Miami families. Another one is Khan's project on Global Youth Service Day. He organized, fundraised, and executed a distribution to provide food for 150 families in Broward County. My sister and I have also created an organization of our own. We sell hair ties and bracelets to the people at our school as well as on a website, and part of the proceeds go to Joshua's Heart Foundation. A bracelet or a hair tie are common day things that all the girls in Miami are used to. I wanted to use these common day materials to raise awareness of hunger. The whole purpose of this was to use kids to motivate other kids and to create a business that promotes social change. If you would like to know more, follow our Instagram at Tide Accessories and click the link in the biography. Joshua's Heart Foundation has been a part of my life now for 3 years, and I seriously do not know what my life would be like without it. The amount of friends and connections that I have made by volunteering I know will last me a very long time. I am so glad that my mom pleaded that I make connections and become friends with the kid in Afro in my drama class. I don't know if you guys heard what Pope Francis had to say this past weekend, but one of the things he said really spoke to me. Helping our neighbor as if they were a close friend and aiding those who most need it are one of the few things that I took from his speeches toward the Congress and the United Nations. I don't think it matters what religion you follow or what you believe in, because helping others the way you would like to be helped if you were in their position are universal ideas that everyone should follow. I learned that helping others is a beautiful thing in my journey volunteering at Joshua's Heart Foundation. Thank you.
Giving back is one of my passions in life, and making a change in people's lives is a motivator for me. And I believe in what I do because God has given it to me. So I just want to encourage all of us to continue what we're doing, to give back and to make a change. We each are a puzzle piece in the big picture, and if we each do our small or big part, we can complete the picture. I want to leave you off with a quote, another quote, by Edward Everett Hale. He said, "I'm only one, but I am one. I cannot do everything, but I can do something. I will not let what I can do interfere with what I cannot do." So I want to leave you off with that, tell you to keep on making a change in those, everybody's lives that we've been helping out. And thank you.
Quick Q&A with Josh. I know you guys probably have a lot of questions. I always have a million. I hate to do, so I'll start. But if you have a question, please stand up and pass the microphone around and make it great with you. Actually, you're ready to go, aren't you? Okay. Let me see if I can.
I'd like to know, where did you get these sponsors?
Where did you get your sponsors, Josh?
So we have different sponsors, such as Unilever, Walmart, Whole Foods, and the first one I would say would be Whole Foods. We were going in their store, and honestly, a lot of sponsors and getting to know people, developing those relationships, it's all about connections again, relating to people, talking to people. So we met with the store manager, and eventually we just kept talking to her, and it developed into a long-time friendship. She's a part of Joshua's Heart now, even though she left her job. We then were able to, we worked our way higher up the chain until we got to the top. CEO, president, and then try to do that. Walmart, they gave us a grant, and then we gained connections again and talked our way out. And Unilever, we did a project with them, and we were able to gain connections again with them. So yeah, it's going to a lot of events, awards, speeches, and just talking to people in the room. You never know who's going to be there. So yeah.
And I have your number now too. I want to know, you're 14 now, college in the near future. How much longer will you be a part of this? Will you control it for a while? Do you want to pass it on to somebody else? Where do you see Joshua's Heart going in the future?
So we're making Joshua's Heart more self-sufficient, where we have monthly fundraisers, again by the Junior Advisory Board, where when I leave to college, it can run by itself, where I can have another Joshua's Heart chapter and where I want to go to college, California. And, so we can grow. When I'm older and I'm doing my thing, I'm still going to, of course, want to give back, want to help out with Joshua's Heart and help make a change. And I think eventually I'll have to pass on the title to somebody who I believe can help make a change. So yeah.
What is your official title now? Because I love it. Your mom gave it to you.
So it's CEO and Head Changemaker.
Changemaker. If you have any questions, please stand up and get the mic to you. You're on a billboard now. What was that like when you first saw yourself up there? Is that when it hit you how big this thing was?
So we are on a couple of billboards nationwide, and really it does hit you hard when you see that. We came here in Ohio about 3 weeks ago, and we saw one of the billboards. And if you go on our Instagram, there's a picture of me, Tim Tebowing, in front of it. But basically, it's a surreal experience seeing yourself on something else that millions of other people can see. And it just, humbles you, and it reminds you what it took to get to where you are now. So, yeah.
Question, yes.
Question is, do you have an app site or a website to get the word out to lots and lots of people that want to look at you and see what you're doing, and if they'll act?
Our website is www.joshuasheart.org. Our foundation name, you can Google us if you can't find it. On there, you can follow our Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, go on our Flickr and find out our photos and see what we do. So yes.
It's not so much a question, but I have a proposal for a book. I'm a lifetime Ohio State fan. I've gone 40 years of games. My brother's a big Michigan fan. He's done 40 years of Michigan. I was thinking we could get together and write a book with our recollections of the various games that we've witnessed and been part of over the last 40 years. And I'm sure from talking to him that when we were able to write this book, we could donate part of the process to the local food bank.
That'd be awesome. I love the Ohio State history part. The Michigan part, I'll read it. It's passing on his car.
Also with the website, social media is a great tool nowadays. I'm actually doing a speech this weekend to 1,000 kids about social media and how they can use it to change the world. There are over 2.5 billion people on social media, and half of that are on Facebook alone. So, it's a huge tool, and if you use it correctly, it can do great work for you.
You're very smart. Yes.
Hold on, I have the mic for you.
We have a mic coming over.
Where are you speaking at this weekend?
It's with a group called Independent Youth. It's a group of entrepreneurs, whether it's social or business related, where of kids who are speaking to other kids. So we do it with Google, with Independent Youth. We're doing it called Trap Start in St. Louis.
Is it here in Columbus, Ohio?
St. Louis University. Yeah.
Joshua, they want to know where you're from.
I am from Miami Beach, Florida.
Joshua, I want to ask you, do you find that your youthfulness has been more of an asset or more of a liability, especially when you deal with adults in business ventures? What kind of obstacles have you faced and how do you overcome them?
It's a mixture of both. So starting off with the pros. First of all, I was actually talking to my table basically about it. Is kids are more creative usually, and what happens is they don't see the problems that come, the challenges, the walls that face the solutions. They just find out what they need to do to fix a problem. They don't think, oh, we need money to do this, all that. So it's a good thing to use that creative side of kids to find out solutions for problems. And then you use adults to find out a little bit more reasonable approach to it. So it's a mixture of using both the tools that both ages have to their disposal. Negatives would be whenever you talk to certain adults, sometimes they might not always take you seriously, and it's up to you to make them believe that, and I've learned that over the years, so you have to talk to them, show them that you know what you are talking about, and get them to believe in you. So yeah.
Does your mom go with you everywhere? She's got to be like your right-hand man, isn't she?
So she goes with me everywhere I travel. She drives me everywhere too. And then sooner or later, I'll be old enough to drive myself. So, yeah.
She's still going to go with you. Mom, stand up. We need to give you a round of applause. Where do you want to go to school? You've already talked about that?
Oh, okay. So there's multiple choices. Stanford, UCLA, Berkeley, Caltech, and he's convincing me to go to New York. So, yeah.
I still think you should consider Ohio State. Yeah. You should consider it. You can have you as a permanent resident. Any other questions for Josh? Oh, yes.
It's really not a question, but it's for your mom. I just want to encourage her and thank God for her life. Yes. For a young man to have an idea to help other people, I believe that it depends on what her mom has instilled in him as a young kid when he was growing up. So Mom, this is actually a reflection of who you are. Thank you for creating or bringing to this earth a young man full of idea, not just to help himself, but to help people that he doesn't know, people that he has never met. He has a heart of compassion for them. So thank God for your life. Thank you for bringing Joshua into this world. And I pray that you continue to encourage him and strengthen him in everything that he does. God bless you. Okay. Thank you.
Yes, sir.
I was just wondering, do you have brothers or sisters?
Single child.
All the focus, all the time.
I know what that's like because I got a wife that's like that.
Josh, thank you. One more question. Have you ever thought about what would have happened had your grandmother not handed you that $20 bill? What your life would be like? Would you still have found the same path?
Most likely not. So it's really been because of that $20 bill, that first experience, which really led to everything else. It got me here and made everything possible. So, yeah.
Joshua, is
One
your
moment.
grandmother still alive?
Yes. Actually, she's very active in the foundation. She runs our warehouse, and she gives out
Well, let's give it up for him one more time. Josh Williams, everyone.